Hello everyone, I'm Cloud and welcome to Anime no Mi. Today, continuing with the One Piece videos, we finally have access to the first leaks of chapter 1024 of One Piece, where we have more information about the Great Battle of Onigashima, and also going further we have more revelations about events from the past. So help us by leaving your like in the video to help us continue. Also sign up if you're new here to receive all the new videos and join our crew. Now let's go to the video. As we know, during the last chapter of the One Piece manga, we had an overview of the battles that were taking place in Onigashima and a small preview of the upcoming battle. First, we had seen a little bit about the continuation of the confrontation between the Straw Hat Pirates against the great stars of the crew pirate of the Beasts of the Yonka Kaido, where King and Queen not only recovered from the attack they had suffered, but also continued to attack. All of this happened in order to reveal more about King's past through some Queen speeches, also possibly giving us hints about Zoro's origins through a comparison between him and the great samurai of the past Ryuma. Shimatsuki Yoshimaru's name is also mentioned, who will be very important in today's video. During the chapter, other battles were also mentioned. We saw the great confrontation between Jack, who continued to face Inuarashi once again, but now we see the Sulong transformation of Inuarashi. The same happened in a second confrontation that is shown shortly afterwards, which is the great battle between Perospero, who was still facing Nekomamushi, and also Nekomamushi now would show his Sulong form to bring revenge for what had happened to Pedro. And besides that, we also had a battle between ninjas going on. The big confrontation between Reizu and Fukurokujo was still happening, and we also saw a little hint of what was going to happen in Wano in the future of the manga, and this thanks to a dialogue brought between them. It is said by Fukurokujo that they could never trust control of Wano to a boy like little Momonosuke, and the answer he got from Reizo is that they should never underestimate youth. All of this indicated what was to come. After all, Momonosuke was really looking for a way to save Wano from Kaido, and that's why he had asked Shinobu to turn him into an adult, which really happened. That way Momonosuke finally turned into a gigantic dragon of extreme power, something that surprised everyone, and even Luffy himself. But together they already continued going directly to Onigashima to finish the confrontation with Kaido. So chapter 1024, titled as something that can be translated as a certain person, we have a summary about how the situation is in some parts of Onigashima. After all, several battles took place in different parts of that place. We see that even several battles are taking place at the same time, and some like that of some of the Straw Hats have already come to an end, with Luffy's companions being able to defeat several Tobarapas who were fighting for Kaido. And talking about the leader of the Beast Pirates, we go straight with the battle that is being lived by the Emperor himself. Kaido continues facing Yamato in a gigantic battle on the top of Onigashima. After a few chapters, the manga returns to focus on the two. As indicated by this week's chapter leaks, this will be the chapter that will most focus on the great battle between Yamato and her Kaido. Yamato had gone directly to the top of Onigashima with the intention of facing the Yonko while waiting for Luffy's arrival. After all, he already considered the Straw Hat Pirate as his captain. This battle started, but initially we didn't have any details about what was really going on in that place, other than an apparent big shock from Haki, and sometime later, we see the reunion after some time of the start of the confrontation. Ali Kaido said he recognized Yamato's strength, and also the way Yonko said he had to work to get a devil fruit, and he didn't want Yamato to have eaten that fruit. It is then that we pass for the first time in a long time to see the power of Yamato's devil fruit, which showed part of its hybrid form by saying that it ate only because it felt hungry, and this power prevented your dream of traveling by sea, while revealing to us the complete form of the hybrid transformation of the devil fruit Inu Inu no Mi into the Okuchi no Makami model. Yamato said that having faced Kaido throughout his life, he had become stronger, and now he would fight to the end for the good from Wano. And this chapter tells us that Yamato is really being able to keep up fighting Kaido. After all, some time has passed since the beginning of that confrontation, and Yamato said he couldn't become Odin if he wasn't able to save Wano. And an interesting thing to see in all of Kaido and Yamato's fights is the fact that their attacks are very similar, possibly for the reason already mentioned above, the fact that Yamato always faced Kaido, and after all defeats it became stronger thanks to the techniques he acquired from seeing Yonka's fighting style, and also using his devil fruit. What we can see even more when the two used the heat breath, burrow breath, a technique that we always see being used by Kaido, and which could also be used by Yamato with his devil fruit powers. But further on, this battle ends up resulting in a flashback that takes the story back to Yamato about 20 years ago, right after Odin lost his life saving his comrades, all thanks to the actions of Emperor Kaido, who tricked him. So then we know that this was about 5 years after the end of the Pirate King's crew, and also the first confrontation between Odin and Orochi, where the great samurai left Kuri and went to Onigashima, which is also the scene of the current battle. Whereas Odin injured Kaido in the past, the Straw Hat Pirates were able to do so too, and today Yamato tries the same. same. But returning to the flashback, we saw Yamato still very young, locked in a cave with 3 samurai. Apparently the 3 there were extremely powerful samurai of Wano, but the leak did not reveal exactly who the 3 were, but the topic indicated that one of them was Shimatsuki Ashimaru. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Zoro was compared to Ashimaru for being an excellent swordsman, and all of this seemed to have a direct connection with the possible past of the future greatest swordsman in the world, Zoro. Shimatsuki Ashimaru was a member of the Shimatsuki family, that is, he was a descendant of Shimatsuki Ryuma, who in the past was the greatest swordsman in the world, to the point that his biggest rival whom he never got to face was himself, who in this case had received a nickname from the people he saved in his trajectory. Ashimaru was a descendant of Ryuma and became Ringo's last leader before the arrival of Kurazumi Orochi and the movements of Kaido and the Beast's pirates. After all, Ashimaru did not accept what had been done to Oden. He then ended up losing his life with the arrival of Kaido, who completely ended the samurai's movements after he refused to accept Orochi's actions in Wano. So now everything indicates that apparently before losing his life, Ashimaru had contact with Yamato, and this fact would have a great importance for the future of the work and also for this current battle. But after that moment we go back directly to the current moments in the manga, leaving the flashback. The focus of the story is the continuation of the battle of Yamato and Kaido. Both were using their hybrid form and facing each other physically, with the chapter now ending with an attack in common between Kaido and Yamato. As we have mentioned before that it was something seen in their fighting style, but now everything ends up as an incredible gigantic attack. The chapter ended with a great shock of power caused by a shock from Raime hack, a technique using Kanabo, which is a combat item used by Yamato and Kaido, and it was also the blow that Kaido used to defeat Luffy even when the pirate of Straw Hat was using his gear 4. We saw the same way how Yamato used this attack to take Ulti down, but we saw Tobarapo saying that the attack used by Yamato was not as strong as Kaido's, saying that he only had half the power even though Yamato used both hands to use the Kanabo while Kaido uses only one. But now we saw the shock of this attack between Kaido and Yamato, and the power according to the leak. Everything indicates that the powers of the attacks were at the same strength level, and thus the battle between Yamato and Kaido will continue. And so far we haven't seen the true powers of Yamato's devil fruit, but since we'll soon have Luffy and Momonosuke's presence with their new transformation, there's a possibility that we'll see Yamato's final transformation as well. Finally, Luffy seeing Yamato's efforts, we can finally have the invitation to have a new member of the Straw Hat crew. In summary, this chapter will completely focus on the great battle between Yamato and Kaido, and it should also bring us a lot more of the past of the two. We are also able to realize the importance of Yamato for Wano to be saved from the crew of Kaido's beasts. That's because after Luffy's fall from the top of Onigashima, and the Straw Hat Pirates' greatest powers are facing off against the Tobarapas and the big stars of the Beast's crew. In addition, Kid and Law are facing Big Mom, so Kaido could whatever he wants in Onigashima and attack the entire alliance of samurai. But thanks to Yamato, Kaido couldn't attack anyone. After all, the Beast Pirate could really end any chance of victory if he attacked the Straw Hat allies. But with Yamato facing him, Kaido has to stay completely focused on that battle. So really, Oden's dream will only come true because of Yamato's strength, his desire to keep fighting, and soon we'll see the outcome of all this in the manga. But let me know what you think about the events in this chapter, and what you expect for the future of the manga. Don't forget to leave your likes in the video to help the channel, and also subscribe if you're still new here. The channel is new and needs your help. Thank you so much for watching our video so far. Your support is very important. See you in the next video. Bye.